In the world of software development, there are two primary ways through which you can earn a living. The first is by offering a service, and the second being by offering a product. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how you can navigate the job market and try to secure a job as a Flutter developer, whether you're somebody that's just starting off or somebody who has a bit more experience under their belt. I recently received an actual email that inspired me to create this video from one of my subscribers that said that they've been dedicated to learning Flutter for about a year now, and they're eager to start their professional career in Flutter mobile development. And as they explore the job market, they kind of see that most of the jobs that are being listed are for senior developers that have at least 3 years or more experience. So can I provide some insight into navigating these different opportunities and trying to find a job that's suitable for them as they are a beginner in their career? And I'm not showing the subscriber name just because of concern of their privacy. So being inspired by this email, I decided to create this video where I'm going to be showing you all of the ways through which I was able to secure employment, whether that's contract-based work or full-time employment as a Flutter developer. And I'm solely going to be focusing on that. So with that said, let's do this. Let's divide the video up into 3 parts. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is sharing some places with you where beginners can find jobs as Flutter developers. Then I'm going to be taking that to the next level where I'm going to be saying where intermediate people can find the best resources and the best type of jobs for them. And then from there, we're going to be moving to the top tier jobs and how you can find those as well, assuming that you have a bit of experience under your belt. So to get started, what I am going to assume that for somebody who's a beginner, they have at least a year's worth of experience building apps using Flutter. And they have somewhat of an understanding of how to build these apps. And maybe they've created a couple of projects and now they have a resume on which they have their projects listed. Maybe they have an education and they're getting into the world of tech and they want to get an employment. The first pro tip that I can give you is that if you're starting out, the number one advantage that you have is the ability to showcase yourself to your potential employers face to face. So the best results that you're going to be able to get if you're somebody that's just starting out because they don't have a lot of industry experience is to find jobs that are in person and not focus on remote jobs to get going with. This way you'll be able to actually impress the employers or the person that you're interviewing with not only the skills that you bring to the table, but your personality as a whole as well. Because usually when you work at companies that are in person, they take a look at a lot more things when they're hiring somebody than just a remote developer. They usually have a more holistic approach because they need to make sure that the person that they're bringing on the actual development team needs to have not only the technical skills that they require, but also personality that's compatible with the company culture. So that's my number one pro tip to you. I know that this might be a bummer because a lot of us as software developers really envision ourselves working as remote workers, being able to travel the world, work whenever we want to, wherever we want to. But to get started and go from 0 to 100 real quick and actually secure a job, my first tip to beginners is to actually find in-person opportunities at places that are hiring within your city or within your locality. The next pro tip that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is how you can use LinkedIn to effectively find opportunities within your locality where you might be a good fit for those jobs. And that is to come to LinkedIn and where you have this place search field, basically type in the place that you are from. So in this case, I'm doing Dubai, United Arab Emirates. And after that, basically search for Flutter in the jobs section. And you're going to see that a lot of jobs are going to be listed here. But what I'd like you to do is go ahead and do the following things. Firstly, come to the date posted section and make sure that you're only taking a look at the jobs that are posted within the past week. Bonus points to you if you just do past 24 hours and quickly contact the company. That's going to put you in front of the hiring manager real quick. But anything that's way beyond a week, don't bother with it. There's a lot of competition on that, so we don't have to do that. And then you basically show results. Now for each of these, I want you to do 2 things. I want you to apply to the actual job listing through whatever medium they've posted on LinkedIn. So whether it's through easy apply or maybe sending them your resume or filling a form. But then what I'd like you to do is basically take the company's name and location, paste it on Google and try to find some kind of email or a phone number after you've applied and call the company up and tell them, hey, my name is so-and-so. I've applied to your company today for a job posting that I saw on LinkedIn. And I was wondering if you had the time to actually take a look at it and if there's anything that I can answer for you guys. Most probably there's going to be somebody in the company that will give you an email or maybe forward your call or do something like that, which is going to allow you to get into touch directly with somebody who's hiring and let them know that, hey, look, I'm super interested. Not only did I apply, but I also called to check in and let you guys know that I'm super excited to work with you guys. And this is going to be a big benefit to you because now you'll be able to stand amongst the crowd where maybe other people that have applied might have a ton more experience under their belt. So this is another pro tip that I'm giving you, and that is to filter down your actual search search results to just include jobs that have been posted recently, and then try to contact companies using some kind of a phone number or an email or something that you find, besides the fact that you've applied using whatever system that they've provided. So this is another pro tip. And then the final pro tip that I'd like to give you for beginner Flutter developers is that try to find internship opportunities before you apply for full-time roles. Sometimes the actual vetting process for internships is a lot less strict than what it's for actual full-time employment. And the reason for that is because the employer isn't taking a big gamble on somebody when they're hiring them for an actual internship position. And the reason for that is because the internship is bound to end after some time. That's just the nature of how internships are. So if you can somehow find good opportunities that are internship-based opportunities, then definitely take them as well. And if you're somebody that's just beginning Flutter development and maybe doesn't have a lot of portfolio projects to showcase on their resume or a lot of experience, and maybe they're not confident with their Flutter skills to apply for a full-time position, then maybe it's better for you to build 1 or 2 projects with Flutter and then apply to companies that are maybe offering internship-based positions, and then through that internship work for that company, get actual industry experience, and that's going to position you a lot better in the future to be able to secure better employment. And that's pretty much all of the tips that I have for beginner developers. Besides this, there's another tip that I'd like to share across the board, and that is to always make sure that your resume is only 1 page and all of the content that you'd like to fit on it fits on a single page. Because if your resume is multiple pages long, most probably the people that are going through and perusing through these resumes do not look at the 2nd or 3rd page. So always make sure that you highlight the most important achievements that you have on your resume, and make sure that that resume is only 1 page long. So this applies to everybody across the board. This is not something that's just particular to beginners. This is another pro tip that I'm giving you. If you guys are interested in a video where I showcase to you a sample resume that I used to secure an actual position as a Flutter developer, and some other resumes from some other people that I've mentored and how they were able to use those to secure Flutter employment that was in multiple figures, then let me know down in the comments below that you'll be interested in a video like that, and I'll try to create a video on that topic as well. So now that we've talked about all of the steps that a beginner Flutter developer can take to find employment, now we can talk about what mid and senior level Flutter developers can do to find employment. Both mid and senior level developers, I think, are perfect candidates for taking the actual step towards finding remote employment. And I know that the reasons for finding remote employment are usually going to be that either you're in a country which doesn't pay very well for tech, and you know that if you're able to find a remote based job, then you'll get a higher salary. So that's one of the benefits. The other is that a lot of people want that time flexibility. So that's another great reason for having a remote job, because then you're able to travel the world. So these are usually the 2 main factors when it comes to people applying for remote employment. So for finding remote-based work, there are a ton of different places that you can go to find employment. I'm going to be only sharing places with you that I've personally been able to find contract-based work on or full-time based work on, and then have worked with the companies that I found employment for a considerable amount of time. So the first website that I recommend if you're somebody that's looking for remote work is a website called We Work Remotely. And it's one of the largest ones, I believe, in the world, and it gets over 4.5 million visitors every month to its homepage. And here companies can list their job postings. So a lot of companies list job postings here. You can click on each of them, see what the company is about, what the job posting is about, how much experience you have, where you can apply for the position, and everything like that. And the cool part about this website is that it lets you know an approximate count of how many people have applied to this specific job. But there's a big drawback with this website, and that is that because of how much traffic comes to this website, it's very difficult for you to stand amongst all of the bazillion people that are actually applying to the job posts that are being listed here. So a much better way to approach the actual problem of finding remote work is to actually apply to websites that don't get a lot of traffic, or that have some kind of a vetting process in place beforehand before somebody can actually apply to a job. So to give you an example of that, I'm going to be showing you a website called org.dev, and I've actually been able to secure a 6-month-long contract for a Flutter development gig on this actual website. If you come to my actual LinkedIn as well, you'll see that I'm also an org certified developer. And the cool thing about org.dev is that when you actually apply as a developer, you have to go through a vetting process. You have to go through an interview. You have to pass all of their checks before you are showcased to all of the potential employers that are on this platform. And they haven't sponsored this video. I have never been in contact with them after my employment ended, because I just shifted my career goals. but I was able to find a very good project here, and the company was very good as well, and I worked with them for the duration of the complete project, which was 6 months long. Besides this, there's another website that I also had found a contract-based gig on, and that was called the Turing. Turing usually specializes in finding you full-time roles for US companies specifically, and you can see that they have a lot of different job postings being posted as well, and they usually show you what the actual requirements are as well as what the dollar figure is for how much they're willing to pay for the actual job post that these companies have listed. So I highly recommend that you take a look at org.dev and turing.com. If you can somehow manage to go through their vetting process, then these are going to be excellent websites where you can find opportunities. And the advantage is that since a lot of the developers are not going to be able to go through this extensive vetting process, then a lot of people are not going to be applying to the jobs that get posted here, and hence you'll have a better chance of standing to the potential employers and getting your name in front of them. And then it all depends upon how well you've actually positioned yourself in the actual resume that you've posted here, as well as how good your experience is to actually then land an interview, talk with the clients, and then proceed from there. Another website that I've heard good things about, and I used to be a member of this as well, was TopTal. TopTal, I believe, is the best amongst all of the websites that I've shared with you, because there are two key factors to TopTal's success. The first is that the actual developers that you find here are really the top of the top developers all around the world. They have an extremely difficult vetting process. You have to go through multiple different interviews as well as multiple different tests to ensure that you're a capable developer. But if you are able to go through the actual process, then what that allows you to do is actually find really top-notch clients that pay you a lot of money for the skills that you bring to the table. So this is another excellent place. So now that I've showcased to you guys some of the straightforward options for finding employment, now I'm going to be showing to you guys some of the more nuanced ways, I should say, still kind of straightforward but nuanced ways through which you can find employment. The first is that there's an actual group on Discord, and it's called Flutter Dev. I'll leave a link to how you can join this group down in the description below. And in this group, you can talk with a bunch of different Flutter developers. But there's a specific section called work where people can both post that they're looking for a Flutter developer, as you can see under the hiring section, or hiring channel I should say, and also post under the for hire section if there's somebody that's a Flutter developer and is looking to offer their services. So you can definitely take a look here. There's also equity and commission based work here. So if you want to partner with somebody to maybe create a app using Flutter, something like that, then there's also an option for that. So this is an excellent place if you want to find some kind of a partner to maybe create a venture with. And then there's also the collaboration section, which I would recommend if you're somebody that wants to collaborate with another developer to maybe create a product that can help you gain some experience. Besides this, Facebook groups are a great place to actually find potential clients that you can help. I've usually found that Flutter groups usually work better for people that are in other industries such as video editing or graphic editing. But I was able to, a very long time ago, when at least 6-7 years ago, when I was a beginner Flutter developer, able to find my first or second gig as a Flutter developer on one of these Facebook groups and then work with a company. The group that I found that on was actually called Flutter Jobs. So you can definitely join this group. It's called Flutter Job, but there are a bunch of groups like this on Facebook that you can join, and maybe you'll be able to find some kind of an employment opportunity here. And usually these are more tailored towards beginner because the pay isn't that well, but at least there will be something and you'll be able to get started with your actual Flutter development journey. Then besides this, I am going to say that I do not recommend that you actually post your services on Fiverr. And the reason for that is because you're going to be competing with a lot of different people that are going to be offering service for pennies on the dollar. And I do not want anybody that watches my channel that's a developer to be earning pennies on the dollar. I know that you guys are investing a lot of time and effort into honing your skills. So I'd only love to see that the skills that you are trying to hone, you get appropriately compensated for them. And I just don't think that the actual opportunities that are on Fiverr are that great. And the reason for that is because even if you are a very talented developer and you make a great gig post here, there's just a lot of competition that's just willing to work on for a dime, literally, and you won't be able to compete with that on pricing. And the only way forward would be just going down in pricing. And I don't want that for you guys. A better alternative to this could be to apply on opportunities that are posted on Upwork, and you can find great opportunities on Upwork. But the thing is that it's going to be an extremely slow process, because when you start off, you won't have an Upwork profile, you won't have any testimonials by clients, so you'll have to build yourself up. You'll maybe have to do the first 1 or 2 gigs for a lot less money than what you're actually worth, get those testimonial in, get those client reviews in, and then from there you'll be able to actually build your profile up and then be able to apply to more promising and more fulfilling roles. So with that, that's pretty much all I have for today's video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, then please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel so that you get notified every time I release a new video. If you want a second part to this video where I talk about the other way through which you can earn as a developer, which is by offering your product, then let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try my best to create a video on that for you guys. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.